So stalking is typically described as a dark side of fame, possibly the motive behind the fatal shooting of singer Christina Grimmie. But it can happen to anyone, and it can even happen from those you least expect it.
There's no way to describe the feeling of feeling like somebody's watching your every move. It's excruciating, it's exhausting, and it's scary.
New Yorker Kim Mishkin says she was stalked by her ex-husband when she separated herself from their 17-year relationship.
We met in college, in between sophomore and junior years. He got a job where I was working, which was a kind of a pizza place, convenience store place. And we had a lot of fun. In fact, we were pretty inseparable once we started dating. I didn't want to go out with him at first, and then after the first date, I was smitten. I never thought it would get to the point it did. It went from A to B and then on down the line, and I never dreamed that he would stalk me. I never dreamed that he would say crazy things to me or text me 90 times in a row.
It's all happening too often, growing tremendously due to the advancement of technology. Just ask Detective Herman Weisberg, who's seen it all too often.
Stalking's taking a different turn, where it used to be somebody would have to camp out in front of somebody's house. That was considered stalking back then. Stalking now is knowing someone's every move and infiltrating their life and knowing where they're going to be tonight and where they were yesterday and who they're with. It's changed the environment.
But what if this happens to you? You find yourself walking in Manhattan, you see someone following you, and you just don't know where to turn. Well, the detective took me out on the streets of New York, and he showed me his tricks of the trade.
If there's a solo person following you and conducting their own surveillance on you, if you use a building like here in Manhattan with a front entrance and a rear entrance, you can easily walk through. Whoever's following you is going to follow you into the building to determine what you're doing there and why. And as they continue on, you can just stop right outside and see who that person is. If they keep on walking, you can just go the other way and you've now eluded your stalker.
Now, of course, you want to limit the amount of information that you put on social media, which you might think is obvious, but people today, they put what they're eating for lunch, or they put where, like if they're going on vacation.
People need to realize that they need to limit the amount of exposure that they put out there about themselves. You have to put restrictions.
There's got to be a fine line between pursuit and stalking, right? Because people pursue people that they're interested in. And at what point did he say it crosses the line?
The victim has to say no. And the minute that you say no and that isn't abided by on behalf of the stalker, then he's crossed the line.
What does that include, though? I mean, does that include repeated postings on a wall, or does it have to cross the line to something physical?
It doesn't matter if it's unwanted attention and you just say stop it and the person doesn't stop it, that's when you begin to have a stalker on your hands.
Diane, you talk about unwanted attention crossing the line and saying you have a stalker on your hands, but the gulf between that and what the law recognizes as harassment is huge.
Right.
So there's a big gray area there where the police can't do anything because following someone around is not a crime, sending them flowers if they don't want it, not a crime, posting on their wall, not a crime.
Well, that's why people hire investigators.